Caitlin Clark, turning down $20 million. Yeah, you heard that right. Not $2 million, not $5, not 10, $20 million. On the table, in the bag, ready to go. And she walked away like it was pocket change. Welcome back to Her Hoops, the home of no-filter WNBA truth-telling. If you're new here, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and buckle in. Because this one is about to shake every corner of women's basketball.
Oh my God. We gotta get into this article, man. It seems as if Caitlin Clark has turned down $20 million. $20 million in the WNBA. Y'all acting like y'all can't get a CBA done, turning down all this bread for y'all. Listen, Caitlin, you might need to start accepting some of these bags. You might need to start accepting some of these payments and bring your boy KTV on along for the ride. At this point, I don't think we should be turning down any more offers, CC.
Because the biggest star in the sport, the face of a generation, the player who broke attendance records, TV records, jersey records, endorsement records, she is also now the player who has rejected more money than 90% of athletes will ever see. And the question everybody is asking, why? Why would Caitlin Clark walk away from a haul that could change anybody's life overnight? We're talking $1 million equity package from Unrivaled before she even played a WNBA game.
It seems as though she has turned down $20 million. Let's get into the article. The nearly $20 million rejection by Caitlin Clark has the WNBA buzzing. Here it says, Caitlin Clark is the lone basketball player on Sportico's latest ranking of the highest paid female athlete. She has climbed into the number 6 spot with an estimated $16.1 million in total earnings, a number that came despite an injury-shortened campaign.
A long-term 8-figure offer from Project B. Yes, 8 figures. A $5 million cash grab from the Big Three for just 8 games, with the option of pushing it to $15 million for a short season run. Overseas opportunities offering 7 figures just to suit up, and she said no to all of it. You know what's wild? She turned down more money before her rookie season even started than most WNBA vets have made in their entire careers. While the rest of the league is fighting over a CBA that may or may not get them paid.
Just to get to the season, and she only plays 13 games. We're being told every day that she's day-to-day for months and months on end, all the way until there's only the last week of the season is 2 games left and they say she's done for the year. Dragged us along all season. So here it says her WNBA salary at $119,000 barely registers in comparison to the endorsement revenue powering her rise. With that level of financial comfort,
Caitlin Clark is out here declining generational wealth like it's a bad coupon. And fans are stunned. Supporters, haters, even legends of the game. Everyone's trying to understand the same thing. What does Caitlin Clark know that the rest of the world doesn't? Because when a player this valuable, this marketable, this globally recognizable starts rejecting $20 million in side deals, that tells you something deeper is going on. Is it loyalty, long-term strategy, brand protection, pressure, or something the WNBA itself isn't ready to hear?
It has become the clearest explanation for why she continues to pass on eye-catching offers from leagues eager to attach themselves to her name. Now we've seen Unrivaled. Unrivaled gave Sabrina Ionescu $1 million for the inaugural season. You know they was offering Caitlin Clark more than they was offering Sabrina Ionescu. I love me some Sabrina.
We're breaking all of it down today. This is the real story behind Caitlin Clark's $20 million rejection. To understand why Caitlin Clark is turning down $20 million like it's a gym membership flyer, you have to understand where her stardom really comes from. Because Clark isn't just another big-name rookie. She isn't just a talented shooter or a flashy passer. Caitlin Clark is a cultural force, a once-in-a-generation catalyst who walked into women's basketball and flipped the entire ecosystem on its head. Before she ever touched a WNBA court, she sold out arenas.
She turned that down. We know Project B came with a eye-dropping, crazy number. We know they came with a crazy bag, and she has turned it down left and right. And we can't even forget that Ice Cube came with a bag. So she's been turning down leagues left and right since before she even played a game in her rookie season. Here it says, Caitlyn doesn't have the financial need to play in any other league. She's making so much money off the court in endorsements. Robin Lundberg summed it up. Salute to Robin Lundberg.
Before she ever cashed her first pro check, she delivered the highest college basketball TV ratings in years, men's or women's. Before she ever stepped into the Indiana Fever locker room, she was already the most talked about, most debated, most analyzed player on the planet. And that type of power? It creates a different kind of market. Caitlin Clark didn't need to go overseas like Diana Taurasi once did to make real money. She didn't need to chase alternative leagues for financial stability like the players of the 2000s and 2010s. She didn't need to risk her body in year-round basketball just to keep the lights on. She came into the WNBA with corporate America already in her pocket. Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, Panini, Wilson, and more. We're talking millions before her rookie season even tipped off. She wasn't grinding to survive. She was arriving as an empire. And that's what makes these rejected offers so shocking, because historically, WNBA players took every single financial opportunity they could find. Overseas contracts, endorsement deals, pop-up leagues, anything that paid more than the WNBA's low-standard salaries. But Clark? She's rewriting the blueprint. She's operating from a place no player has ever been in before. Complete leverage. She doesn't need the extra millions because she's already got them. She doesn't need another league to validate her. She's the one validating them. She doesn't need to chase temporary money. She's building long-term legacy and brand value. This context is crucial because once you understand where she stands, the $20 million rejection doesn't look reckless. It looks intentional, calculated, strategic, and it reveals something much bigger about the future of women's basketball, something nobody in the WNBA front office wants to admit. Now let's break this down piece by piece, because Caitlin Clark isn't just randomly saying no to money. There is a pattern, a strategy, and a message hidden inside every offer she turned down. Let's start with Unrivaled. They threw a $1 million+ package with equity at her before she even played a single minute as a pro. That's the kind of offer athletes dream about. And Clark? She shut it down immediately. Why? Because Unrivaled wanted her to carry the league from day one. Her face, her presence, her brand were going to be the engine powering it. And she knew it. Clark understood that if she signs on, the story becomes Unrivaled is successful because Caitlin Clark joined, which means she's doing their lifting, not her own. Next up, Project B. This wasn't just a big offer. This was 8 figures, multi-year, with equity, real ownership-level money. Sophie Cunningham, Kelsey Mitchell, other pros already jumped on board. It's the kind of groundbreaking deal that could reshape the entire landscape of women's sports. Again, Caitlin said no. Why? Because Project B wants long-term control, multi-year commitments, heavy branding requirements. A big star signing on this early gives the league legitimacy before it even has a track record. Caitlin Clark isn't giving out free validation. She knows her name is the most valuable stamp in women's basketball. She's not selling that cheaply. And then there's the big three. $5 million for 8 games. $15 million for 10 weeks. More than her first WNBA year plus endorsements combined. And she declined without hesitation. Why? Because this one comes with the biggest risk: timing. Playing Big 3 ball right before your rookie WNBA season? That's a recipe for burnout, injury, and chaos. Caitlin isn't risking her long-term WNBA legacy for a flashy, quick check. The breakdown is simple. Every offer came with a catch. Every check came with strings. Every league wanted to use Caitlin Clark's star power as their foundation. But Clark is refusing to be anyone's shortcut. She's choosing the WNBA as her home base and protecting her brand for the long run. Now here's where everything gets messy, Because Caitlin Clark's $20 million rejection doesn't just sit quietly in the background. Oh no, it exposes people. It pressures franchises. It cracks open the WNBA's most uncomfortable truth. The league needs Caitlin Clark more than Caitlin Clark needs the league. And everyone knows it. The tension started the moment Clark said no to those outside leagues. Because suddenly the spotlight turned back on the WNBA and the CBA stalemate. If the most valuable player in the sport refuses to chase money elsewhere, what does that say about the state of the league she's choosing to stay loyal to? It creates a contradiction the WNBA can't hide. They want to market Caitlin Clark as a global superstar. They want to rely on her for attendance, ratings, visibility. But they're still offering her $119,000 in salary, less than what some college coaches make in a month. And fans aren't stupid. They're watching Clark turn down enormous bags, while the WNBA itself can't finalize a CBA, can't guarantee financial stability, and can't even secure roster clarity for teams like the Indiana Fever. Then the pressure shifted to the Fever front office, because now the question becomes, is Indiana doing enough to support the most important athlete in the league? Are they building a roster that will allow her to win? Are they protecting her health after that shortened season? Are they giving her a structure worthy of a generational star? Or are they just hoping her popularity will drag the organization forward while they operate in chaos? When you listen to people like Stephanie White talk, "We're in limbo, we don't know anything, we're waiting, we can't plan," it doesn't sound like a franchise prepared to maximize Caitlin Clark's prime years. It sounds like a franchise bracing for confusion. And here's the escalation. While Clark rejects millions to stay committed to the WNBA hasn't proven it can commit to her. No solid CBA, no clear path for roster construction, no certainty for training timelines, no reassurances for players recovering from injury. That is unprecedented power. Now here's where the deep dive gets interesting. 1. Clark is protecting her body. This generation has watched too many greats lose years off their careers because they were forced to overwork. Caitlin just rehabbed an injury-riddled season. She knows the risk. A Big 3 season before the WNBA? A new league with no established medical standards? Overseas grind for a quick bag? She's not risking her longevity. Not for $5 million. Not for $20 million. 2. Clark is protecting her global brand. Her partnerships aren't local. They're international corporations that see her as a long-term investment. These companies don't want her in chaotic startup leagues with uncertain reputations. They want stability. They want consistency. They want Caitlin Clark associated with the WNBA, the NCAA legacy, and mainstream American basketball, not a carousel of side projects. Her brand is worth way more than any seasonal paycheck. 3. Clark is positioning herself as the face of the WNBA, not a rental for competing leagues. And this is the part people overlook. Every time Clark rejects a new league, she strengthens the WNBA. She forces fans, advertisers, broadcasters, and owners to invest here, not somewhere else. Her loyalty is a power move. She's saying, if you want women's basketball to grow it in the WNBA. Not around me, with me. And that's the deepest truth. Caitlin Clark isn't just thinking year to year, she's thinking era to era. She's building the foundation of a legacy that no other player has reached this early in their career. That's why the $20 million rejection isn't reckless, it's intentional, it's strategic, it's visionary. Caitlin Clark turning down $20 million isn't just a personal decision. It's a generational shockwave that's changing the landscape of the WNBA, the business of women's sports, and the expectations of what young athletes can demand from their leagues. Because make no mistake, when Caitlin says no, the entire sport reacts. 1. She just ended the era of necessity. For decades, WNBA players didn't have the luxury of saying no. If money was offered, you took it. If a league overseas came calling, you packed your bags. If a random startup threw a check your way, you said yes because survival came before choice. Caitlin Clark shattered that cycle. She showed future rookies that there is another path. A path where endorsements, brand partnerships, and smart long-term planning can outweigh the hustle and grind lifestyle that burned out legends before their time. 2. She's forcing the WNBA to evolve, fast. Every dollar Clark turns down outside the WNBA increases the pressure on the league to provide something better. Better salaries, better medical support, better travel, better infrastructure, better everything. Because if their biggest star is choosing loyalty over money, the league has to match that loyalty with real structural improvement. They can't keep dragging their feet through CBA negotiations while the face of their entire brand is sacrificing millions to stay committed. 3. Clark is raising the value of every WNBA player. Her presence raises TV ratings. Her presence boosts attendance in every arena. Her presence increases merchandise sales league-wide. And when she turns down $20 million to stay in the WNBA, she's essentially saying, "This league is where it's at. This league is worth investing in." Sponsors hear that. Networks hear that. Owners hear that. And most importantly, other players feel empowered by it. Suddenly, rookies don't feel pressured to run to overseas leagues. Suddenly, veterans feel like the WNBA has leverage it never had before. Suddenly, everyone realizes this league can thrive in the US without alternative league dependency. 4. She's redefining what loyalty looks like in pro sports. Most athletes chase the biggest bag. Caitlin Clark is chasing the biggest impact. That shift is culture-changing. This is how a player becomes more than a star. This is how she becomes a movement. At the end of the day, Caitlin Clark rejecting $20 million isn't just a headline. It isn't just a shock factor story. It isn't even just a flex of financial stability or superstar leverage. It's a declaration. A declaration that she's not here for a quick check. She's not here to jump around from league to league like a hired gun. She's not here to let her brand be borrowed, used, or milked by every startup desperate to attach itself to the most valuable name in women's sports. Caitlin Clark is here for something bigger. She's here to build an era. She's here to lead a league. She's here to change the direction of women's basketball permanently, from the inside. And that's the part people still aren't fully grasping. Every bag she turns down makes her foundation stronger. Every offer she rejects shifts more power back into her own hands. Every headline about "Clark passes on million-dollar deal" is another reminder that she's operating on a different level, one built on vision, not desperation. Because truthfully, $20 million sounds massive. But for Caitlin Clark, the global icon, the endorsement magnet, the cultural force, $20 million today is nothing compared to what she's setting herself up to make over the next decade. Legacy money, ownership money, generational money, and most importantly, impact money. She wants to do for the WNBA what Steph Curry did for the NBA. She wants to inspire a whole new generation of hoopers the way Maya Moore inspired her. She wants arenas packed, TV ratings exploding, and little girls everywhere wearing Clark 22 jerseys to school. She wants to make the WNBA the home of women's basketball, not just another stop on the journey. And that's why she stays true to the league. That's why she stays loyal to the process. That's why she stays focused on the Indiana fever, even while the front office fumbles, even while the CBA stalls, even while chaos swirls around her. Because Caitlin Clark isn't chasing the moment, she's building the future. And that's why fans are stunned, but also inspired. Because how often do you see an athlete in today's era choose purpose over profit? How often do you see someone walk away from millions because their vision is worth even more than the money? Caitlin Clark sees something bigger than a paycheck. She sees the next 20 years of the WNBA. She sees the empire she's building. She sees the legacy that's already forming. And she's choosing that over $20 million. This is her hoops. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe if you want more powerful, dramatic, opinion-driven breakdowns just like this one. Because the Caitlin Clark era? Oh, it's only getting started.